Hey there. Welcome back to 5 Minutes with KeRusso. This is about my 100th take on this segment, so I'm going to get it right this time. Trying to make everything worthwhile when you join me for 5 minutes, and I hope you're blessed by them. If you are, pass the blessings along. Let other people know about the channel. Let them know about a segment that really impacted you. But pass it along. I want to talk to you this morning about what happened to those people that were in that boat during that flood. When it's all over with, God in chapter 9 in verse 1, he brings Noah and his family off the boat and he blesses them. Listen to the blessing. He says to them, verse 1, be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth. Now that verse tells you what God's relationship is, what he wants it to be with people. He wants to bless people. Just like he did with Adam and Eve, he puts them in a garden and he says, look, all this wonderful stuff. It's all yours. Enjoy it. Just one tree, don't eat from it. Everything else is yours. Enjoy. He takes Noah and his family, gets them off the boat, and he says, look at the world. The world's your oyster. Enjoy it. It's full of blessings. There's not a bad place to go. Now, in doing this, he builds this covenant relationship with them. A covenant is a very serious commitment that you make with one another, with two different parties. In this case, between God and Noah and his family. Between God and people. Well, what's the obligations? You read chapter 9, and you'll find real simply what people are obligated to do is take care of this world, take care of this creation. And the other thing is, take care of people, take care of one another. I don't want any more Lamechs running around, God says, killing people. Don't do that. That's what people are supposed to do, honor one another. Now, God also obligates himself to people. And he does that by doing this. He said, I'm going to put a rainbow in the sky, and it's going to be a sign of this covenant. It's going to remind me of a promise I make. And God says, I promise not to wipe out the people again, wipe out the world again. No matter how bad you get, I'm not going to wipe it out with a flood. Now, you and I look at rainbows, and we think, well, that's a pretty cool meteorological event, so we want to take pictures of them, especially if it's very vivid or a double rainbow, or if we see the end of the rainbow. We might even go looking for a pot of gold, that kind of stuff. That's not what rainbows are about. They're to remind God that no matter how wicked we get, how bad we are, he's not going to wipe us out with a flood again. And if you look at the history of the world, he's had plenty of reason to do it multiple times. You might even say, he could do it now and be justified. Well, let's be thankful for the rainbow because it keeps God from doing that. It reminds him of his promise in this covenant. But what do the people do with their part of the covenant? You read in verse 18 and following, not very much, at least not very good. Noah takes a blessing of God, this great harvest of grapes, and he makes wine, and he gets plastered. And he's laying in his tent naked. Now, he's in his bedroom, so he can do that. But he's plastered. Doesn't even know what's going on. His youngest son, Ham, comes and sees his dad naked and does something really bad and tries to get his brothers to do it. Now, his brothers won't do it, but he did. Well, what did he do? Well, there's several possibilities from the Hebrew language. One is, Ham could have just saw his father naked and just started laughing at him, and try to get his brothers to laugh at him. Our father's drunk. Look at this silly old man. Look how ridiculous he is. And it dishonors his father. That's a possibility. That's bad. It's a possibility. Another possibility is he saw his father naked and Ham raped his father. Or maybe his mom was in there also, and she was also naked. Maybe he went in there and raped his mom. And he tried to get his brothers to do the same thing. That's really bad, isn't it? You see, that's what happened with the blessings of a new life in this new world. And Ham just didn't want to live up to it. Didn't want to live up to his covenant and honor human life. Now, what ends up happening is Noah finds out about it and he punishes him. There's accountability when you don't listen to God. And it's a curse. Just like Adam and Eve were cursed, Ham's family gets cursed. Now, the punishment fits the crime. It was Noah's youngest son who wronged him. So when God brings judgment upon Ham through this curse, Noah says, your youngest son is going to be cursed. They messed up. Just like the first man and woman, this first family after the flood messes up. And they fall on their faces. They The blessings God gives them are not enough to get them to want to walk with God. So what about us? Do we learn our lesson from this first family after the flood? Jesus, God's Son, gives us the opportunity to have a new life with Him through a new covenant. And it's full of blessings to be enjoyed. But will we listen to Jesus? Will we listen to God? Do we walk with Him? Or do we go do our own thing? Something for us to think about. Because we have our opportunity to mess up or to live up to what we've been given. Okay? Let's live up to the blessings. All right, leave a message if you want, comment, or send an email at booksbykerusso@gmail.com. You have a blessed day.